Okay, in this module I want to talk as briefly as I can about the differences between a learning module and a Blackboard folder. Both are containers for course content and both will likely be heavily utilized, but there's one key difference between a Blackboard folder and the new learning module that is part of the Ultra course experience. So creating both a folder and a learning module are identically the same step. I'm going to hit the plus as a top order item in this Blackboard course, and I'm going to click Create. To create a folder, you would just select Folder. To create a learning module, click Learning Module. So first I'm going to click a folder. I'm going to call this folder New. I'm going to make sure it's visible to students, and I'm just going to give a description, New Folder. Great, that's done. I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to make a learning module that's called New. So same order of operations. I'm going to click the plus. On the dividing line between content areas, there's one key difference here. I can only create learning modules as a first order item inside the course. So I can't nest a learning module inside a folder or another learning module. That's the only key difference there. I'm going to hide, instead of hide this, going to make it visible. I'm going to call this New Module just so you see the difference. But there's a very important item here that is noteworthy. We often, as part of a module, want to force the sequence. That is sort of the benefit that the learning module has over a regular folder. A folder we cannot force a sequence, and in a learning module we can. So it's usually important to check for sequence with the understanding that you can't have a course link inside a learning module as part of that forced sequence. So you'll have to put course links somewhere else. So we're going to hit save, and now you'll notice the two entities. Here's another small difference. A folder has a folder icon associated with it. A module does not. So I'm jumping the gun just a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and add some items here. So I'm going to click the folder. Because there's no content in this folder, Blackboard knows that, and it's going to give me the options sort of in a different way. But I'm just going to go ahead and click Create. I'm going to click Document, and then I'm going to call this Lorem Ipsum, and click Add Content and paste in some dummy text that I've had previously in my clipboard, and make sure that it is visible to students, and click out of there. And then I'm going to, inside the folder, go ahead and click Upload. I'm going to find my resume because that's the first easily accessible document that I have. And I'm going to make sure that students can view and download that. I'm going to make that visible as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for my new module. I'm going to pause and then come back once that's done. Okay, I'm back, and so I have a new folder and I also have a new module. When I click on either of these, I have the exact same documents inside of each. Everything should be visible to students. Actually, this last PDF is not, so I'll make sure that's visible. And I'm going to show you a nice feature which we had in original, but it's a little better in Ultra, and that's Student Preview. So I'll click Student Preview to show you what a student will see when comparing a folder to a learning module. So I'm going to click Student Preview, upper right corner of the screen. Click Start Preview. It will refresh the course, and this little icon says, hey, there's new stuff. I'm going to click New Folder, and it just presents these two items as items that are contained or nested within this folder. However, when I click New Module, notice there's a little button here, a little indicator button or icon. When I click that, then each of these contains sort of a tracking feature. If I try to click on the second item, it allows me to do that. And then once I've viewed it, notice it gives me a check mark. Same thing with the Lorem Ipsum item. If I click that, it also gives me a check mark. Now, I can't force you to read it, obviously. Another neat feature is that I can go ahead and go on to the next item without clicking the close button in the upper left corner of the screen. I can go on to the second item. If you go into the folder, you don't get that same option. There's no ability to move on or move back to a previous item. So this content forcing, and if you have multiple items, Blackboard would inhibit your ability to jump several items in a row. So I'm going to exit student preview, delete the student preview user and data. And those are the essential differences between a folder in Blackboard Ultra and a learning module, the ability to control the order and a student's ability to move on to the next item inside a learning module.